big companies use it, that doesn't mean it's complicated. If you follow along, it'll be super easy. And we're going to show you every step that you have to take. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a fully functioning website with your products that you can sell online. And they can be physical products, they can be downloadable products, or even a virtual service that you want to provide.
Right, and you can make this on a Mac or PC. We wouldn't really recommend trying to make it on your phone. You can view the website on your phone. It's completely mobile friendly and responsive and all of that. But why shouldn't people try to make it on their phone or tablet?
So, your computer browser has a lot of built-in features.
It's completely mobile
all the software
friendly.
We're going to be using is online. And a lot of
why shouldn't people try to make it on their phone or
some of the
tablet?
features that let you edit your computer browser has a lot of built-in features.
Completely mobile friendly. Right, so is there anything else that people should know? Why shouldn't people try to make it on their phone before we start creating this website?
The only thing you should know is that it's okay to make a mistake. You can always go back and rewatch the video. We're going to try to make it as clear as possible.
This website.
The only thing you should know is that it's okay to make a mistake. You can always go back and rewatch the video. We're going to try to make it as clear as possible.
So I'm going to share my screen with
it's okay to make a mistake. You can always go back and rewatch the video. We're going to try to make it as clear as possible.
So I'm going to share my screen. Alright, so we're going to do all of this. We're basically done with the intro, so I'm going to mark that off. The next thing that we're going to do is get our domain name and hosting, and this is the only part that costs money. What is a domain name and hosting?
So the domain is just the name of your website. So for example, Google's domain is google.com, Best Buy's is bestbuy.com. So domains can be a .com, a .net, anything like that. I'm sure you've seen a ton of them. So we need to have a domain for our website that shows where our website is located and how people can find it. And hosting is pretty much just the storage for our website. So all of the pictures and text and videos and things like that we want to upload to the website, they have to be somewhere where people can always look at them. So hosting is just a really big computer somewhere else that is always online and connected to the internet so that when someone goes to your domain, they can see everything that you've built on your website.
Right, so a domain name is basically your website name, like tyler.com is mine, google.com. In this video, we're going to show you how to create an online e-commerce store step-by-step with no steps skipped. My name is Tyler, and I'm here with Manuel. He's a web developer from Florida. Why are we making this website in WordPress, and what can it do?
Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, so WordPress is the most popular way to make a website online. One thing you should know is that it'll be super easy. You don't need to know coding or anything like that. If you have basic computer skills, you'll be able to follow along and make the website.
So yeah, we can add so many things. We're going to add a shopping cart, a way to take payments. We're going to add all of your products. We're going to show you how to put in a logo. We're going to show you how to design your website so that it could look like anything in the entire world. We're going to show you how to do reporting and keep track of all your sales and do shipping. But why should even people be using WordPress? Who uses WordPress and how popular is it?
Right, so WordPress is actually really safe and really trusted. Big companies like Best Buy, CNN, the New York Times, they all use WordPress. And even though big companies use it, that doesn't mean it's complicated. If you follow along, it'll be super easy. And we're going to show you every step that you have to take. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a fully functioning website with your products that you can sell online. And they can be physical products, they can be downloadable products, or even a virtual service that you want to provide.
Right, and you can make this on a Mac or PC. We wouldn't really recommend trying to make it on your phone. You can view the website on your phone. It's completely mobile friendly and responsive and all of that. But why shouldn't people try to make it on their phone or tablet?
So, your computer browser has a lot of built-in features. All the software we're going to be using is online. And a lot of the times the mobile browsers are missing some of the features that let you edit websites live. Computer browser has a lot of built-in features. If you can.
Right, so is there anything else that people should know before we get started, before we start creating this website?
The only thing you should know is that it's okay to make a mistake. You can always go back and rewatch the video. We're going to try to make it as clear as possible. Me and Tyler are available. So if you have any question, you can email me. I see your site to make a mistake. Go to my website and give me a message, and we'll be more than happy to try to make it as clear as possible.
So I'm going to share my screen with Manuel, and we are going to go over what we're going to learn. So can you see me? Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Looks good.
All right, so we're going to do all of this. We're basically done with the intro, so I'm going to mark that off. The next thing that we're going to do is get our domain name and hosting, and this is the only part that costs money. What is a domain name and hosting?
So the domain is just the name of your website. So for example, Google's domain is google.com, Best Buys is bestbuy.com. So domains can be a .com, a .net, anything like that. I'm sure you've seen a ton of them. So we need to have a domain for our website that shows where our website is located and how people can find it. And hosting is pretty much just the storage for our website. So all of the pictures and text and videos and things like that that we want to upload to the website, they have to be somewhere where people can always look at them. So hosting is just a really big computer somewhere else that is always online and connected to the internet so that when someone goes to your domain, they can see everything that you've built on your website.
Right. So a domain name is basically your website name, like tyler.com is mine, google.com, icreateyoursite.com is yours, and hosting is where all the files live, right? So if you didn't have hosting, your website would come up blank. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install WordPress and log in and learn how to change your password. But the really fun part is we're going to start adding your products and adding the shipping methods and the payment gateways and getting security so that you can actually accept payments online and manage orders and do all your reporting and things like that. But what website are we going to make? Even though you can make any design, anything, what type of website are we going to make? So we have the website right here and we can see it. Even though you can change the design to anything that you want, we're going to be making this specific website right here. And why is this website so great and why should people care to do this?
So this is a fully functioning website that anybody can build without any prior knowledge. So you can see that it looks like a completely professionally done website. You have your featured products, you have testimonials, contact forms, social media links, everything you want. And now, if you don't particularly like this design, you can change everything about it. You can completely redo the design, and we're going to show you step by step how we made this one. And you can apply those same steps to build any kind of website that you want to build.
So right here, we can add the product to the cart and we can see it up here. And then we can view our cart. And your customer will be able to apply coupons. And we're going to show you how to do that and add shipping. And we're going to proceed to checkout. And they can enter in all of their information here and their credit card number right on the website. It doesn't take you to a third-party PayPal, even though we'll show you how to do that. And they can place order. You'll get an email. And that order will come up and then you can ship the product or have them download the digital thing that you're offering. And it's just a really great, concise, simple tutorial on how to do all of this. And I think it's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
We're going to do all of that. The first thing that we need to do is get your domain name and hosting, and we can do that at hostgator.com. So we just open up this right here and go to HostGator, HostGator.com, and press enter. The next step is to choose what you want, and there's all of these different options, but we need the least expensive option because you can always upgrade later. And I really like HostGator. What has been your experience?
They're pretty good. I think they have like a 99% uptime guarantee, which means that most of the time your website is pretty much always going to be up. Some places they offer really crappy hosting. And then what happens is that every once in a while, you'll try to go to your website and it won't be available because they're having some kind of issue with their server.
Right, or it'll be super slow. I've been with them since I was 19, so 13 years. And they've been really great. They offer live chat, which sometimes you got to wait a little while for, email support, phone support, all of that. Now we have all of these different options here, like web hosting, website builder, WordPress hosting, VPS, and dedicated. And you'd think that you'd use WordPress hosting, but you can just go to web hosting because WordPress hosting has all of these bells and whistles that I don't think you really need, and you can always upgrade later.
Yeah. And pretty much the most important part of what they try to sell you on WordPress hosting is that WordPress is already installed, and it's more expensive for the same thing you're going to be getting with web hosting. We're just going to install WordPress ourselves.
So just click on web hosting and just scroll down a little bit. Then we have 3 different plans, the hatchling plan, the baby plan, and the business plan. I think, again, it's the same sort of thing. You don't need any of this stuff and you can always upgrade later. The difference between the hatchling plan and the baby plan is the baby plan offers unlimited domain names. So you can have like your friend's website, your dad's website, your mom's website, a client's website, all on there. If you're planning to be a web developer, then go with the baby plan.
And also for all of these plans, another thing that's good about HostGator is they add a free SSL for you. So your website is much safer. And as a matter of fact, because Google now takes that into one of the things for ranking, one of the signals for ranking, this will actually improve your website's rank because it's safe.
Exactly. Yeah. And the SSL will show this little security lock up here instead of saying not secure, which people would freak out about probably if they're on your website.
Especially if you're on a store trying to buy something and then that thing is red, it says not secure. You click on it and it says, your information is not secure. You're probably not going to put your credit card.
That's essential. You'll never get any sales probably if it says not secure and they're entering in their credit card. Exactly. So we're just going to click buy now for the hatchling plan. And then it's going to give you two options. I already own this domain or register a new domain. When would someone choose I already own this domain over register a new domain?
Right. So maybe you have a domain that you've had for a while. Maybe you only use it for email, like a domain that you got from GoDaddy or HostGator itself or another website. So if you already have a domain, that's when you would use that. So one question that we get a lot when somebody uses a different domain is that, hey, I did all the steps, I used my own domain, and now my website doesn't work. So if you are using your own domain, you need to log in to wherever company you're using for your domain. You need to figure out where the name servers are for that domain. And you can always call their support or chat their support of that business. And they'll tell you what the name servers are. And, HostGator will give you their own name servers and you can just update them. And the name server is just a little line of text that tells your name how to connect to your storage.
Right, exactly. So if you bought a domain name from GoDaddy a long time ago and you want to connect it now to HostGator, you're going to require one extra step. And that step is to tell GoDaddy that you are hosting with HostGator and to just plug in a line of text. So the first step would be to get HostGator. And then after you do that, the second step would be to connect your name server if you already own this domain. If you're registering a new domain, and you can live chat them and be like, hey, I bought it from GoDaddy and how do I connect this? And it's a super simple thing to do. So, but if you're registering a new domain name like we are today, how to create a website.com, then it's going to be super easy to do. It's all going to be automatic. So we're just going to go with the .com. Then it's going to ask you about domain privacy protection and how. Well, first of all, it's going to say, do you want all of these other things? And they try to sort of encourage you to get all of these .online, .space, .tech, but it's not necessary in my opinion. People don't copy your business exactly and do the .net, so I don't think it's really necessary.
Yeah, most people are used to .com, so if they don't remember your name, they're just going to assume that it's .com. Very rarely do you see a company use different kind of ending to their domain, unless it's it's something that they're doing for marketing because it's like catchy the way it sounds or something like that. But for 99% of businesses or websites, .com is going to be the best way to go.
And people use like .space sometimes is cool or .tech or .org if you're doing something, if it makes sense for your website, if it makes sense for the marketing.
Yeah, what I was going to say, one good example of that is Google's parent company, Alphabet. Their domain name is abc.xyz. So .xyz is a super weird domain ending, but because their company name is Alphabet, they have abc.xyz. It's kind of like, oh, that's the whole alphabet. So it's marketing, but .com works most of the time.
If you just think it's cool, then do it. And if you're going to love it, then just do it. But most of the time it's .com. How would you explain domain privacy protection?
Yeah, so domain privacy protection is something that I also get a lot of messages about. It's not required and it's nothing bad if you don't have it. So when you make a domain, it's like starting a business or buying a house. You're buying your house on the internet. And just like a house, your domain has a public record, which shows where it's located, who owns it, and their contact information. So when you make a domain, your email and phone number and that kind of stuff is linked to it. And that's public information. It's public information for anybody, and it's nothing bad. No one's going to hack you or anything or go to your house because of that. But it is available, and a lot of businesses research recently open domains because they know that if you just opened a domain, you probably need a website. And these companies will start calling you to try to sell you online services. And a lot of the times, you have a ton of companies doing the same thing, and you might get 2 or 3 phone calls per day, and that might last 1 or 2 weeks. It's happened to me. When I see an unknown number, I usually just, if it's out of state especially, I know that it's most likely an ad. I just don't answer it. But if it's going to bother you a lot, then you can pay the extra, $1 for domain privacy, and then it won't show that information.
Yeah. And so I've gotten complaints on my channel saying, hey, HostGator sucks so much. Why are you recommending them? But because I've gotten 20 calls or something in the first week, but it's really not HostGator's fault. But if you add the domain privacy protection, it's going to be so people can't see any of that. But I'm just going to uncheck it because I want you to see how inexpensive it can be to get a website online and start accepting payments online. So I'm just going to uncheck it. But, if you definitely don't want any more spam calls, I know spam calls are so annoying and I already get like a million of them a day anyways. But the next thing is the plan. So do we want the hatchling plan? Yeah, that's what we decided on. And then the billing cycle. How do you explain the billing cycle?
Yeah, so it's like anything that you buy. The more you buy up front, the cheaper it'll be, in total for what you're getting. So for example, if you do 12 months, it's 35% off, like it's showing right there. So it's up to you, if you're really invested and you want to really establish your business, you might want to buy a whole year. So that gives you enough time to work on your website and try some marketing and try some different things. If you're just practicing and you're not sure, you can do 1 month just to practice.
Yeah, so it costs the least if you do 1 month up front, but more in the long run than if you do 12 months up front. And I'm going to show you how to get an even bigger discount than all of this. I have a special code that will give you like 74% off or like $3 a month for 1 year. We're just going to go with 1 month for now. And then you can enter in your username, security PIN, all of your billing information. Don't worry, this is not my real credit card. I get a lot of those emails too. So put it in California, and then it's going to say, do you want additional services? And what do you feel about these additional services?
The first one is site lock. I think that's probably like a plugin or a service that they add, but if you have an SSL, you really don't need more protection than that. So I think with an SSL, you don't really need site lock. Website backup, we can show you a plugin where you can set up and do your own backups. So that's not really required either.
Right. And with the site lock monitoring, if you keep your WordPress up to date, which we're going to show you in the video, then you shouldn't have any problems. When you get into problems is when your WordPress is like super out to date, and then there's like security flaws that are known, and then so people will try to hack those. But as long as you keep it up to date, you shouldn't need the site lock monitoring. So uncheck everything, and then it says it's going to be $23.90, which is awesome to have. This is the only thing that costs money also, and it's awesome to have your website online for that. But if you put in save code, SAVECODE, and press validate, then that's going to go down to $10.37. But that's just for the first month. So you only get that code for the first month, and then it's going to be $10 the next month about. This is my coupon code, so I do get credit. HostGator does give me a little bit of money every time someone puts this in. Helps me make these free tutorials. So appreciate that.
I have a friend of mine who he took a course. It was like 6 weeks or 8 weeks to learn web development. It cost him $12,000 to take the course.
Wow.
So he learned that so that he can make websites. But in this video, you'll see how you can make any kind of website. You can even use what you learned in this video to make a website that's not e-commerce. You can start selling, and it's a free tutorial that will teach you 90% of what you need to get a perfectly running website. And the other 10% is if you want something custom, but you probably won't need it.
Right. And if we go up here, we can also see that this has all turned to 60% off. There is a special code that HostGator, they contacted me and they said, we'll give your users 74% off or something crazy for 12 months. And that code is start code. So it would be $48.95 for an entire year. But if you type in start code, that goes to $36 for the entire year. So $3 a month, which is awesome for an entire year.
And if you think about it, most places that you go to buy a domain, just a domain alone is usually around $10 to $15 just for the domain. So the fact you're getting your domain, you're getting an SSL, and you're getting hosting for a whole year for $36, that's a really good deal.
Yeah, I agree. And so you have 24/7, 365, live chat, email support, money back guarantee, domain registration in 12 months. We're just going to go with that one. It can cost you as little as $10, or you can do, that's only for 1 month, but you can do $36 for the entire year. Agree to the terms of service and click checkout now. All right, so we're done with that step, which is getting your domain name and hosting. So we're going to mark that off. The next thing that we're going to do is install WordPress. WordPress used to be super hard to install. You used to have to like download it and then hook up an FTP and then transfer all the files and then make a MySQL database and put in all the credentials and just like set it up correctly. But now it's just like so easy. So very easy.
So yeah, and if you're not familiar with web design, that probably all sounded like Chinese. But now it's literally a button that you just click. You click install, it installs itself. You plug in what username and password you want, and you're done.
Yeah, super easy. So to do that, just go to hosting and scroll down and go to launch quick install. Then you're going to want to click on WordPress. And we can exit out of this billing right here. And then it's going to say select your domain name. And that's really easy. I have a whole bunch of domain names, but you probably only have one. So I'm just going to click my domain name. And we want to leave this directory blank. And why do we want to do that?
Right. So here you're saying, where on the storage that we talked about, the hosting, do you want to put WordPress? And you want WordPress to be right on your main website so that when people go there, they can see whatever you're making right there without having to go to any extra like dash home or dash about, because we're going to use that for pages. Now, another question I get a lot is some people tell me, hey, I already have a website and I want to update my website without changing what's there right now until I'm done. So that is a good case in where you would use this. Instead of installing WordPress on your website, you might want to install it on like /new, install it there, build everything you want to build, and then transfer it to your main website when you're done. But for a brand new website, like what you're probably doing right now, you want to leave it blank.
Right, exactly. So we'll just click on, and I want to show you this. Look how much they're charging to install all this stuff, like $99 and $199 and $399. And trust me, we're going to do it in a much better way than they would do it for you.
Right. And if you scroll down and you look the cheapest option, which is $99, WordPress theme credit, install WordPress, that's pretty much what you're about to do by just clicking next.
Right. Yeah, you're literally about to do that right now.
Right. So you probably don't need an expert to do that. We're going to show you how to do all that stuff.
All right. So click next and then blog title. I don't know. It says blog title, but they mean website title. WordPress did start out as a blog, but now it could be anything practically. Username, you can put in your name. I'll just put in Tyler, first name, last name, Tyler Moore. Email address, tylermoore@gmail.com. Try to get the email address right, because if you lose your password, you could just send it to your email and then I'll go there, but if you don't put in your real email, then it'd be really hard to get into your website. So click the terms of service and install now. All right, so what's happening right now?
Right, so WordPress is pretty much made of a bunch of different files that set up, your menu, what's your website menu going to be, what's your header supposed to be, what are your pages supposed to be, how are you supposed to upload pictures, all that stuff that would normally take a really long time for somebody who knows coding to build that kind of structure. It's already done for you, so it'll be done in a visual way where you can just click around and get it built, and that's what just got installed onto our website.
Right. It's a content management system, which is just a fancy way of saying it helps you manage all of your website content in an easy way without coding or anything. So now, if most people go to their website right now, will it work?
Most of the time, HostGator is pretty fast, so you might go to it and it might be working right away. But if you get an error page or your browser says we can't find this page, that's perfectly fine. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the host and domain to connect. Usually within 2 hours, it's up. If after a day it's still not up, you might want to contact HostGator via their chat, or you might want to contact your domain. If you got it from somewhere else, it might not be connected correctly.
Exactly. So it's called propagating. Your website needs to propagate, which means it needs to spread throughout the entire world, going from server to server, saying that your website exists. And sometimes that takes a long time. It used to take like 48 hours. It used to be really slow, but now sometimes it takes 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, or sometimes it's instant. So it just makes it a lot better. So if you go to your website right now and it doesn't work, don't freak out. It's fine. It'll work in half an hour, maybe 10 minutes. Just give it a little time. I've already bought this domain name, so mine's going to work perfectly. So I'm just going to go to the site just by copying it. I wouldn't recommend clicking on it because that'll take you away from this page.
Yeah, and then you lose your password.
Yeah. And also a good idea is just to copy all this information. As soon as you see it, copy the information, print it out, paste it somewhere, just so you have it. Yeah. So I would copy this, Command C on a Mac, Control C on a PC. Open up a new tab, paste it, and then see if your website works. If you get this website coming soon, then you are good to go. And then how do you log in?
Well, one thing that I want to say, your coming soon might not even look like this. It might look like a white page. It might look like a WordPress theme. As long as it doesn't say error and it shows you something, it means that it worked. Because this coming soon page, they updated, they changed it. So as long as you see something that's not an error, you probably did it right.
Right. And this is what an error would look like. Let me open up a new tab, type in just a whole bunch of things.com. This is what, I have Frontier Internet, so they try to do a search for me of this because they couldn't find the domain name. So that's what an error would look like.
So yeah, it would go to your search, or it would just say this page does not exist. One of those two.
But we're good to go. And so how do we log into WordPress?
So here they have an admin login, but that might not always be there. The only surefire way to log in, you want to write /WP for WordPress -admin.
So yeah, /WP WordPress -admin for administrator. And then we can click enter. And then it tells you to log in. I already put in a username and password, but that's not going to work because that's not the username and password anymore. We get our username and password from over here. So I'm just going to copy the password because it's really funky. And my username is Tyler. So I'm just going to type in Tyler, paste that password, and press login. Once we do that, we can exit out of here. Let's see what we need to do. So we logged in. And then the next thing I think that both of us like doing is changing that password, right?
Right, because that password was super impossible to remember.
Yeah.
So just a quick brief, what you're seeing here now, this is not your website. This is just the back end of your website where you're going to be doing a lot of the changes. And all this stuff that is showing up right there, you don't have to worry about that. We're going to delete all that, extra stuff that we don't need later. But right now we can just change the password first.
Right. So all this stuff is just like extra add-ons that we're going to show you how to delete. This is the dashboard. This is where you make the changes of your website. This is not your actual website. This is the back end of your website. So to change your password, just go to users and click on your username and then scroll all the way down. Generate password. I'm going to hide this because I don't want the internet logging in. And I'm going to put in my password that I can remember and then press update profile. So yeah, that's it for that. So we can go here and we can say that we've logged into WordPress and changed our password. The next thing that we're going to do is delete plugins. Why would we want to do that?
Right. So if you ever bought a phone, you know how sometimes it comes with apps that you never use. So when you install WordPress, sometimes the host installs extra plugins that they think are useful, but in this case, we want to install our own plugin. So we're going to go ahead and delete all those extra plugins or extra apps that we have on our website. That way we can have a fresh start.
Right. So basically all the hosting companies, they basically get paid to install people's plugins. And just like to get the cost of a computer down, they get paid to install some apps that you don't really need.
Right.
But we don't need them. And we don't want them all popping up on our website right here. And it's annoying. And so we're just going to start fresh and start clean. So just go to plugins. Scroll down.
Yeah, it looks so spammy. Like if you look at it, there's so many things.
Right. All of these things. Yeah, exactly. All of these things are extra things that we don't need. That's crazy. So just click on this and then go to deactivate and apply. And then click it again and delete and apply. Cool. So now all that's gone. Yeah, we're starting off clean. And that's super awesome. So we deleted our plugins and we're just breezing through these things. The next thing that we're going to do is change our permalinks. Can you explain what that is? Yeah,
so a permalink is just like the URL of a specific location on your website. So for example, right now on this dashboard, you see it's learnhowtocreateawebsite.com/wp/plugins.php plugin status equals, a bunch of mumbo jumbo. If we don't change anything, when we go and make the about page, for example, it'll be learn how to create a website /dot something or other. It'll be a really confusing name that will be really hard to organize. It'll be really hard for people to find. It'll be really hard for Google to, link it somewhere on search. So we want to make it as simple as possible for you, for search engines, and for customers. And we're going to change the permalinks to just be, the name of the page that we're trying to create. So
right. So let's see an example of that. If we go to visit site, if we hover over here and press visit site, and we go to one of our posts that they automatically put on, we're going to see this, like what he was saying, this really ugly thing, this index.php. Like when you go to google.com, they don't have google.com/index.php/about. They just have google.com/about. The permalinks will fix that. So if we go hover over our online store and go to the dashboard, and we go to, do you remember where it is?
Settings, right?
Settings, permalinks. You got it. And then we click just on post name. Post name is great. And then we go to save changes. And then we go to visit our site again. And we see hello world. It won't have that index.php. It'll just say hello world. And then when we visit our site right now, what are we seeing?
WordPress has a really cool way of structuring the website for you called themes. So this is just the basic theme that they have for 2019. It's really simple. It's not really easy or intuitive to work with. So I think we should probably replace that with a better theme.
And the theme is the design of your website, what it looks like. And so this is the default theme or design, and it's very cool, right? Very simplistic, but it's not, in my opinion, very usable.
Yeah, not too fun either.
Yeah, not that fun at all. All right, so we are done changing the permalinks. The next thing that we're going to do is update WordPress. Why should we do that? Well, first let's go into our dashboard. So this is how you get back into the dashboard, and go to updates, and we can see that we don't have any updates. But why would someone want to update?
Right. You always want to make sure, there's on the internet, things are always changing. There's safety updates, bug fixes. So you always want to make sure that you're up to date so that your website is as fast as possible and as safe as possible.
If you're up to date, you get all the newest features also. So that's really cool. So we're up to date. That's great. And mark that off. Now we're going to delete our pages and posts. By default, WordPress installs pages and posts into your website. Pages are like your about page, your contact page, your services page, your store page. What would you say a post was?
If you're blogging, then that's when you would be using posts. So let's say that on your website, you want to, have some blog posts or some articles about what your store is about. Then you can definitely use your post to share that information. Like you said, there's some demo ones that don't really have any real information in them. So we want to delete them so that when somebody comes to our website, they only see what we put. They don't see some, pre-made post and think that the website is not being worked on.
So yeah, to do that, just click on pages, select all, move to trash, apply. And for posts, this would be like your blog posts. You would go there and move to trash and apply. So basically, you don't need to do this, but I'm a little OCD and I just want everything to be clean, everyone to start off fresh, basically.
And you don't want customers accidentally finding extra pages on your website that are empty. That's just weird. They're going to feel like this website's not finished yet. So we just want to make sure that everything that is on the website is stuff that we made.
Yeah. All right, so delete pages and posts. And then now we're going to install a new theme. And we sort of explained what a theme was a minute ago. But a theme is how your website looks. So we want a different theme that is, in our opinions, more powerful and can do a lot more things. So how do we do that?
So we're going to go to Appearance, and we're going to choose Themes. And there's a lot of different themes from different companies that you can install. First, you see the ones that you already have. So these are the WordPress ones. So we're going to click Add a New Theme. And that's going to show us the search for the hundreds or thousands of themes that WordPress has. The one we're going to be using is called Astra because it makes it really easy for us to get started right away on our website.
So ASTRA, and that looks pretty cool. So we're going to install it. You can also go to details and preview and see that it has 5 stars, 1,328 reviews. Install it from there. Or we can install right here.
And if you, in the preview, it's always going to look empty. Like if you look at the preview for the Astra theme, it kind of looked empty, but that's just because we really don't have anything on the website right now. And the theme mostly controls your header and your footer and a little bit of how your blog works, but we're going to show you how you can actually start customizing that and make it look really cool.
Cool. So yeah, then after we click install, then we have to activate the theme. So we click on activate. All right. And now that we did that, it's going to say, thank you for installing Astra. Do you want to, put in the starter site template? And I don't think that we want to do it that way because this may change this, pop up right here. Do you agree?
Yeah, they can always promote something different there. So the best way to do it is through plugins. It's always going to be on plugins.
Right. So basically right now we've changed the theme of the website, but it's telling us, look, you can import an entire website in one click as a starting point. You can, of course, change that to any design that you want, but just as a starting point, why wouldn't you just have it import all of these pages and then you can tweak it? And it's just so much faster to do it that way rather than starting from blank. Then you can just focus more on your products and your content and things like that.
Right. There's some things that you're going to need. You're going to need to have a menu on your website. You're going to need to have a couple of pages. You're going to need to have a shopping cart. You're going to need to have products on there. So you could go and do that each thing one at a time by yourself, but doing a starter site does it is that it puts everything there for you. That way you just have to worry about, customizing it to how you want it to look, but all the functionality is already there.
Exactly. So to do that, we're going to go to plugins. And again, this huge pop-up, but we don't need it. We're going to go to add new, and we're going to search for Astra starter sites. And then here it is, Astra starter sites, I believe. Yes, that's it. And we're going to install now. And we're going to and then we're going to activate. I think I clicked on more details. Oh no, I did activate.
Yeah.
All right, and then it's going to ask us, what's your page builder? Can you explain what this is?
So like we explained earlier, one way to make a web page is to use coding, which is really complicated, takes a really long time, and it's really hard to do. So a page builder is just a visual way to just drag and drop and build your page right then and there. And there's different ones like Elementor, Beaver Builder, Gutenberg, and Breezy. The best one we think is Elementor. They have a ton of different
by far.
Yeah, for anything that you want is going to be available. They let you move and change the size, color, font, image. You can change it completely to whatever you want. So Elementor is definitely the best thing we can work with right now.
Yeah, best one. It was Beaver Builder before, I feel like, but Elementor really surpassed them.
And
really
Elementor is also the fastest one. So, you can drag and drop and see it right away. You don't have to wait for anything to load like in a lot of the other builders.
Cool. So just click on Elementor because that's the builder that we're using. And then they have all of these things that you can just import in one click. So imagine if you're making a website for somebody, or you want to make your own website, just to do it in seconds rather than weeks or months or years or never get it done. I think that's super cool.
Right. And you guys have to remember that what you're seeing is just a layout. Just because it's the plumber starter site doesn't mean that if you're not a plumber, you can't use that. For example, my dad is a carpenter. So a lot of the images that brings were already kind of good for me since plumbing and carpentry are similar. So I went in, I changed some of the plumbing pictures to carpentry pictures. I changed the logo. I deleted some of the pages and added some different ones, put in their information. And, within a couple of hours, they had a completely custom website for carpentry, even though I used the plumbing layout. So just because the theme says it for one thing doesn't mean you can't use it for something else.
And I think, that is a huge misconception. I feel like that just because it's about wildlife or yoga or something, that it can't be used for something else. And that's a big mistake, I think. And I think that's something that these places need to make more clear. Just because the pictures are something and the content's something doesn't mean it has to be that, just like what you're saying. I've worked with the Astra people and I made something. I told them exactly what I would want in a website, and that was just simply natural. So we're going to click on that one. I think it's really cool. Let me know what you guys think. It's just super simple, super awesome. All you have to do is click on it and then just press install plugins, and that's going to add a whole bunch of functionality to your website. So what does a contact form 7 plugin do?
Right. So normally one of the steps you'd have to do is go in and add in each and every plugin one at a time. Mm-hmm. So like we said, the starter sites does that for you. One less thing we have to do. So contact form 7 will add in the tool that we need to create a contact form so our customers can message us on the contact page. Elementor will install the page builder that we haven't installed yet. Header and footer blocks for Elementor will give us extra widgets if we want to customize our header or our footer. And it will also install WooCommerce for us, which will make all of our shop and cart work.
Yeah, so WooCommerce is the store functionality. So all we have to do is click install plugins, and bam, how much time did that save us?
Right. So WooCommerce will take care of your My Account page, your cart, your shopping cart, the payment processing, shipping. All these things that sometimes you don't think about, it's already set up and ready for you. So it does make it super easy to get started and start selling.
Yeah. And after it installs the plugins, then we can click import site and press OK. And now what's happening here?
So now all the images, text, and everything that's part of the starter site is getting moved over to our website. So even though this is for plants, just if you're selling pots, you can just change the picture of the plant to a picture of a pot, change the title from plant to pot, plug in your price, and it's the same thing. You don't have to worry about sticking to one thing.
Right. You can sell phones or crayons or sand if you're a very good marketer.
Right. Rocks.
Rocks if you're an absolute genius and much smarter than we are. But you could do anything. It's just the content is changing and just everything.
Right. So if, like an ebook, maybe you're a photographer and you want to sell photos that you've taken, or maybe you are a DJ and you have custom tracks and you want to sell your music, you can have downloadable music. So anything digital, anything physical, or even a service, you could sell anything through your website.
Right. And then from there, you could even install extra plugins so you can be an affiliate. You can drop ship. There's just endless things to do. But it's all done importing. So let's click done and view our site. Yeah. So that took about like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, something like that for us. And yeah, so we can exit out of here and we have an entire website done, and it looks awesome, I think.
Right.
I mean, it has these testimonials and has these plants and everything like that.
Right. So this is the same page we saw a couple of minutes ago that was blank with text in it. And it looks now completely different with just a couple of steps.
And a lot of people ask me, oh, now someone's going to go to my website and they're going to see this. Well, the bad news is no one's probably going to your website yet. I mean, that's the sad thing. It's going to take a time to get ranked in the search engines, and it's going to take time for you to advertise it on Facebook or Google or in person on your business cards or whatever. If you are still pretty paranoid about that, or it's already advertised somehow and people are going to it somehow, then you can install a maintenance plugin.
There's a plugin that's really easy to use. It's called Under Construction. I use it all the time. You just download it. It just has one button, on or off. You click on, then when somebody goes to your website, it'll just say it's under construction. And when you're done, you just click off, and that's it.
So yeah, you'd go into your dashboard, click plugins, type in under construction, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's just called under construction.
And then install it, and then you would have the option to put your website under construction so that people would see under construction instead of this.
Right. But the reality is that unless you're advertising it somehow right now, which you're probably not, because why would you be advertising it if you don't have it yet? Most likely nobody's going to come across your website. Even Google takes a couple of days to even begin to rank your website.
Yeah.
So, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we have a store. So you've made the store. This would have cost you a lot of money. Yeah, so we have this store. It looks awesome. We can go to our store and we can see that we have plants. And I don't know why they would give them 2 stars out of 5.
That was a very bad plant.
This plant just sucks. But yeah, you can zoom up, and it has a review. Well, best quality. I don't know. He gave it 2 stars.
Yeah, maybe he was confused. We thought 2 stars was good.
And you could go to the description, and it says it, and you can see related products. So that's all cool. This page is customizable. We can add to cart. Let's see how that works. And then it added to cart, so it's up here now. And then we can view our cart, either here or here. You can change all these colors and everything, obviously, but we can proceed to checkout.
You can even create a coupon if you want to.
Right, you could create a coupon and then give your good customers a coupon or email them to lure them in. And yeah, so we haven't set up payment methods, so it's not going to allow us to place an order right now, but enter in all of their information and place an order, and then you'd get the money from 4 or 5 billion people, potentially, in the entire world. That's your target market if you ship everywhere, or just like 350 million in the United States, or however many in Australia or Canada or India or wherever you're watching from. But yeah, I think that's super awesome. And that's how it works. We have an About Us. And that looks great. We have a Contact Us. And that was that contact form 7 that you're talking about.
Right, there it is.
And we have a My Account. So if someone has an account, they would be able to see their orders, their downloads, the dashboard, everything like that. We also have categories. So maybe we only want to see cactuses. Then we only see cactuses.
Right. So if you were, let's say, a mechanic, right, and you're selling car parts, maybe your categories would be like, mufflers, engine, wheels, right? So if you're selling clothes, tops, shoes, shirts. So you have to get creative and, change all these things to make them fit your website.
Exactly. All right. So we did all of that. So we installed the theme, installed starter sites, import the websites. The next thing that we're going to do is change the title and tagline. So why did we want to change our title and tagline? Why is that important?
Well, you probably don't want to call yours online store because it's kind of generic. You want to have your own name up there, and you want to use a tagline to either have your slogan or describe your website a little bit. Also, if you want to do SEO, you might even want to put some keywords in your tagline, and that can help you a little bit too.
Definitely. And when you scroll over your website, hover over it, it says online store. If it comes up, just another WordPress website. But you want it to say your website name and then something descriptive.
Right.
So to do that, let's click on Customize. And where does it exist here?
It should be under the site identity, right under layouts.
Layout, site header, and site identity. Nice. All right, so this is where we also can change the logo. We'll do that in a second. But right here, it says site title, and we want it to say the name of your business, probably. I'm just going to put in Simply Natural. Did I spell that right? Simply Natural. Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And then display site title. So you can either display it or not display it, or display the tagline, and then it shows up here, or not display it. And for the tagline, I'm going to say like what we do. So I'm going to say we sell succulents, cacti, and pots, not pot.
Yeah, that would be bad.
It says I do live in California, so. Is it legal in Florida?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. So we did that, and then we can press publish, and this shows up in the search engine. So this title is going to show up in the search engine, and what you do, like he said, there should be keywords and things like that. That's going to show up in the search engine. So we'll click on publish. We will exit out of here. Probably shouldn't have exited out of there, but because we're about to do a logo. But so now we have that all going on. So yeah, and then we can go over here and it will show up just like that. It's raining right here in Los Angeles, which is crazy. Sorry, I'm very distracted, but look, it's very...
It was raining here yesterday. A lot, the whole day.
So that's pretty crazy. It doesn't rain here a lot. We don't know what to do in LA. We're just freak out. All right. So anyways, the next thing that we're going to do, we're done with that. That's super easy. We're going to create your logo.
Tyler, I don't have Photoshop. How can I possibly create a nice logo?
You can't. Sorry. No, just kidding. There's a whole bunch of websites to create your logo. My favorite one, actually, I built this one, and then I sold it, is logomaker.com, logomakr.com without the E. So you go here and you can watch the video. Do you know of any other logo making tools?
There's a lot of companies that will, like, you plug in your company information and they kind of generate like a couple of them for you, but not where you have like a canvas where you can build it yourself.
So yeah, there's like Photoshop clones, but you're getting kind of deep into it. You know, it's you have to
learn a whole other set of things. Yeah, and this is great. Like if you're just starting for the first time and you just need something to get you off the ground. So get you a pretty good logo.
Right. And I always want to tell people that you can just literally type your name out. You know, people aren't going to buy or not buy from you from your logo, probably. I mean,
unless it's a really bad logo.
Yeah, unless it's really bad. And a lot of logos are really bad. And so it's like, you should just like take your name and just type it out in caps rather than have a trillion things going on in your logo, 17 different colors. And I don't know, just try to make it simple, I think.
Yeah, with logos, a lot of times less is more. So like if you think of any well-known good logo,